Hey, what is up everyone? This is PvT-Mitten's and I'm going to be doing my top 10 games of 2019. I know I'm a bit late to this, but I wanted to sort of get two games out of the way that came out last year to see if they'd hit the list. They didn't. So, yeah. I've not played every game of the year, of course, so there'd be no Control, no Postman Pat, no Gears of War 5, stuff like that there, as I have not played them. So, yeah, I haven't got around to playing Outer Worlds either, which I'm pretty sure is a good game that will probably hit the list. My list will end up changing eventually, like my last year and the year before, that kind of thing. So, yeah. So, heads up, there will be no Resident Evil 2 or Smash Brothers, as Smash Brothers came out last year, as in 2018. Keep forgetting we're in 2020. And Resident Evil is a remake. I don't think it's fair to count them, but if they were in the list, they would be in the top 10 games of the year, so take that with what you will. So we have 5 runner-ups, which in no particular order. So we have 5 runner-ups and then we get to the actual 10. So I'll do this and then I'll pause and actually show you the 10 physically. So the runner-ups we have Kingdom Hearts 3. I was disappointed in it, especially because there's no Colosseum, which I really do enjoy in the Kingdom Hearts games. The story was a complete mess, as usual. I didn't like the combat, but it was good to see them actually make Kingdom Hearts 3 for next gen, and gorgeous visuals. I did like the voice acting. I think the voice acting is something a lot of people don't really give credit to. Some of the boss fights were really good, but it just was a complete letdown. But it was, out of all the games I've played, one of the runner-ups. It will obviously be knocked out eventually, but yeah. Another one is Dead or Alive 6. Dead or Alive 6, terrible story, it just doesn't have any content to go with it, but it's the best combat in the series, and that's why it's a nominated game for runner-up, in my opinion. I really love the combat. I think the graphics are really good. It's just a shame that they completely fucked it with DLC, like the amount of it cost for all the DLC, the lack of content and that kind of stuff. But it's still a good game nonetheless. Get it when it's cheap. Division 2, or Tom Clancy's Division 2. I prefer the New York setting from the first one, but the second one is better in every way. I enjoyed playing the second one. In fact, I obviously streamed some gameplay of it. I enjoyed it. It's a runner-up, but I did enjoy it. It'll drop being a Ubisoft game, so get that when you can, because it's quite good. We also have Team Sonic Racing. Not as good as the two other Sonic Racing games from PS3, Xbox, and Wii's generation, the last ones. It's still good. I enjoyed it. It's becoming dirt cheap now, so if you want to check it out, definitely check it out. But just be warned, if you really enjoyed All-Star Racing or Sonic Transform, it's not as good as those two games for sure. It's still enjoyable, but not as good. And the last runner-up is Apex Legends. Forget the whole overhypeness, the DLC and shit. I enjoyed playing it when I played it. I played it with friends though, that's why I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yes, I wouldn't go back and play it really, to be honest, because it's just gotten worse, but when it came out and when I played it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So it's also a nominee. But other than that, we actually will hit the actual top 10, which I will pause the video and actually physically show you the game and talk about why I enjoyed it. So we'll see you in a sec, guys. So, number 10, we have The Surge 2. I was looking forward to this. I still enjoyed it. I don't think it's as good as the first in a lot of ways. It's an improvement in a lot of ways, but sort of didn't do what it should have, in my opinion. The bosses, although very few, I enjoyed. I didn't enjoy the last boss because it was piss fucking easy. I enjoyed the variety of weapons and armor in this. I didn't really enjoy the different varieties of terrain you go through. I actually think it should have been a city, but a very multi-layered city instead of being what it does. It does something weird, just like Dark Souls 2 kind of thing, which I don't like what it did with that, but enjoyed the combat, enjoyed the weapons and armor, I enjoyed the bosses. I just think it should have been better, but it's still one of the best games of the year in my opinion, and it probably will get knocked off the list eventually. I haven't played Code Vein, and Code Vein's probably the only other game close enough to this year, as in the way they play. But yeah, I still think it's worth picking up when it drops in price. I'd still enjoy it nonetheless. I still enjoy the first Surge. I think both Surges are worth having in your collection no matter what system you play it on. So yeah, number 10, Surge 2. See you in a sec, guys. So, number 9 we have Samurai Shodown. I was looking forward to playing this. I was not disappointed. I love the art style. It's like a grainy, hand-drawn animation. The combat's really good. I really like the whole fact that whatever character you use, and if you save that character to like a ghost kind of server, whatever way you use that character, that'll be put up onto the server. So I think that's a really cool thing. I like the way there's different abilities, like you can use your special bar on an ultimate, or you can use it to stop an ultimate being used on you, stuff like that there. I think that's fucking really well implemented into a fighting game. Character roster could have been a bit bigger in my opinion. Also, the last boss's final form is just cheap. It's cheap for the sake of being cheap. That's something I don't like. Other than that, it's a thoroughly fantastic game, and if you love fighting games, it's must have for the year, and it's one of the best games of the year, hence why it is number 9 on my list. See you in a sec, guys, with number 8. So coming in at number 8 is a game that came out mid-year, I think, just before mid-year. That is Dragon Quest Builders 2. Thoroughly enjoyed this game. It got a bit boring and dragged on towards the end, which it just outstayed its welcome. If they had to cut a big chunk out of it and just put the rest of it together properly, it would have been utterly enjoyable and would have been a lot higher on the list. It's very similar to the first one. Graphically, plays the same. Only difference is this has more of a story, as opposed to the first one was just a typical Dragon Quest story. This is more like a new thing, sort of, without spoiling much. I really enjoyed this. I built some pretty fucking cool worlds in this. A lot of people have. A lot of my friends would send me like their lists, their pictures, and show me what they have. If you like Minecraft, this is Dragon Quest but Minecraft, essentially. But it's got fighting in it, of course, as well, but not much. But thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of people weren't happy with the music. I think it was fantastic. Dragon Quest has never had bad music in my opinion. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this. Must pick up if you love Dragon Quest. I mean, if you like Dragon Quest, you would have picked it up by now, but it's definitely worth checking out if you have not picked it up yet and you're into the genre or Dragon Quest, or you just want something to play on your PS4, Switch, or Xbox One, or PC. I think it has it as well. But yeah, number 8 we have Dragon Quest Builders 2. Moving on. So, coming in at number 7 we have Borderlands 3. I hit Gearbox, I always have, but I fucking really enjoyed this game. Yes, the main story is fucking crap. The main villains of the game are quite honestly some of the worst I've ever seen in a video game. But the playable characters you have, as in the 4 playable Vault Hunters, are all great. I really enjoy them. I thoroughly enjoy the worlds. The gameplay is fucking amazing. It really does play well. The loot sort of gets a bit ridiculous with what it is. I mean, for all the times I've played this, I've not come across one walking gun yet, so whether or not I'm not doing it right or whatever, that's to say, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. It has its issues. It's, in my opinion, the weakest out of the trilogy, as in Borderlands 1 and 2. It's far fucking better than Borderlands pre-sequel, that's for sure. but I think it's the weakest out of the trilogy, which isn't saying much because the first two games are also fantastic. A thoroughly great game, must have for the year. It's definitely a game that's probably going to stay on the list. Yeah, I actually thoroughly enjoyed this. I think it's worth picking up, especially if you want to play with friends, as in it's because it's, you know, co-op. It's just fun to play. It really is just fun to play. So yeah, that's number 7, Borderlands 3. So, coming in at number 6, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant with this one. If it seems like I'm skipping over some of them, I apologise. I don't mean to do that. It's just that some of the games, I don't really have much to say. I just enjoyed it, kind of thing. But this one, for number 6, I do have a lot to say. That is Mortal Kombat 11. Okay. This is a very polarizing game to me. Graphically, it's fucking phenomenal. It's the best fighter we've ever seen thus far. Of course, it's NetherRealm. I love the character roster. Yes, they took out some of the characters I love, but I still like the character roster. I thoroughly enjoy the multiplayer. It's not fucking region locked anymore, thank God. I love the tower, different tower challenges you can do. I still don't think it's as good as 9, but it's still good nonetheless. The gameplay, the best in the series. I honestly believe that, and I know a lot of people may not like that opinion. They prefer the old slow Mortal Kombat, but hear me when I say this. I think the gameplay is fucking outstanding in this game. Neither very polarizing, the bads in my opinion. I think the fatalities are shit in this game. I really do not like them. I think they're just fucking edgy just for being edgy. The story is fucking garbage. It's really bad. It just retcons itself over and over, and what it does, I will not spoil it. It left me just sitting there shaking my fucking head. I really don't like the crypt. I like that you run around in it as like just a nameless soul, like nameless fucking fighter. I prefer the crypt to be the way 9 had it, where it was just straightforward by this. I see where they were going with it. It's fine. I just didn't think it was something they could have done. If they're gonna do that, at least have the fucking, you know, the balls to put in like a fucking adventure mode, story mode, like Deception had. That would have been fucking phenomenal. Speaking of story, or the arcade stories, for every fighter, you know, every fighting game, you go to arcade mode, you get a little miniature story for the character you complete with, you know, the little thing. Jax. I love Jax as a character. He's a really good character. They killed Jax for me in this. They fucking did. They essentially just turned him into a woke fucking prick. And I just sat there shaking my head going, wow, why does this have to be in Mortal Kombat? We play Mortal Kombat for Mortal Kombat. I know that sounds like I really hate it, but no, I really do think this is a great game. It was on the edge of being the best in the series. It had it in the palm of its hand kind of thing. Was let down by silly mistakes by whether it be Warner Brothers or NetherRealm. I really am looking forward to the DLC to play and to, you know, when it all comes out, I'm going to buy it. But yeah, still a fucking great game and a must-have if you own a Switch, PS4, or Xbox One, or PC. Yeah, utterly fantastic. See you in a sec, guys. So we are down to number 5. The last 5 are going to be, in my opinion, all fucking great games, and not that some of the others weren't great, of course, but it's just that they were letdowns, if that makes any sense. This one at number 5 is the last letdown of all the games on the list. Doesn't mean it's bad, of course. We have Metro Exodus. Now, let me get this out of the way. Gameplay, fantastic. Graphics, fantastic. Story, it's a mess. It could have been better. I would have preferred them to stick to, you know, the tunnels of Metro and only go up into the surface when they need to, not do what they sort of did. They turned it into an open world game. That's what they did. Me and a friend of mine had not an argument, but we just had a difference on it which is fine. He likes it. I like it. I'm just saying that I prefer the old other two Metros to this one. Still a fucking great game. Don't know why it didn't get a lot of nominations for the Game of the Year awards. Who knows? Yeah, I just can't really talk much about this because it goes into spoiler territory with the story. But as I said, gameplay's good, graphics good. I just didn't think it was as good as the other two, which you've sort of realised by now. This is what this year has done to me. But yeah, so still a fucking great game. Must have if you own a PS4, Xbox or PC, especially if you enjoy the first two games, which I did, hence why I bought this. So yeah, that's number 5. See you in a sec, guys, with number 4. So, number 4. Once again, I said the last 4 games I honestly think are fucking phenomenal and some of the best of the year, generation, not just the year. So number 4 we have Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Done by the dude that did Castlevania, and this was a Kickstarter he did. Fucking unbelievable. I thoroughly enjoyed playing this all the way through. You've got David Hayter doing one of the voices of one of the main characters, which I thought was fucking a nice little dig at Kojima, but yeah. Gameplay, it's the old Castlevanias, mainly Symphony of the Night. Really enjoyed the music. I think the music's fantastic. I love the worlds, or the different areas you go to. I love the character, you know, leveling up, not leveling up, but like customization and, you know, attribute kind of thing. I like the combat. I love the bosses. I honestly think this is one of the best, if not the best Kickstarter next to Shovel Knight. That's how good this is. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Cannot recommend not picking this up. Hence why I believe this is the most expensive game I bought all year, as I paid, I believe, $80 for this. And I'm glad it went to the maker because he thoroughly fucking deserves it. It's not, I just realized there's another one that I paid full price for. But yeah, thoroughly fucking enjoyed this. Must have if you've not played it. Please check it out if you've not, guys. My number 4. So, at number 3 we have the official Game of the Year. That is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Really good game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes, there was parts that fucking pissed me off. Gameplay is, when it works and doesn't camera angle and hit detection you like typical From Software games, the gameplay is fucking perfect. It really is that good. Bosses, thoroughly enjoyed most of the bosses in this game. It's got some of the best From Software's ever made. The last boss, the true last boss, as in you have to beat all the other bosses essentially to get to it, can fuck off. I hated it so much. I just love the world in terms of how it looks. It's just beautifully, like, it is beautiful to look at. My video I uploaded where I showed you how to cheese out one of the bosses. After you beat that boss, you go to a new area and you treat it to, in my opinion, the most gorgeous area From Software has ever made. Stories, yeah, yeah, they've never really done a good story in my opinion. From Software, I mean. But other than that, fucking phenomenal game. Must own for any gamer. One of the best games of the generation for sure. It's just that good, and I'm so glad it beat fucking Death Stranding for Game of the Year. The fucking look on Kojima's face when he lost was just fucking beautiful. But anyway, number 3, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. So at number 2 we have Devil May Cry 5. Utterly fantastic. Gameplay, fantastic. Graphics, fantastic. Story, fantastic. Everything about this game is good. Other than it's just too short, in my opinion. It seems well too short for what it was trying to do. Other than that, fucking phenomenal. One of the best games of the year. Best hack and slash of the decade, in my opinion. Well, it's as the guy says on stage, DMC's back. It really is, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do if they do DLC or they give us DMC 6 in a few years. But yeah, it's fucking phenomenal. Soundtrack, everything about this, as I said, I'm not exaggerating, is fucking great, except for just the length of the game, of course. Must have for anyone that owns a PS4, Xbox, or PC. I really like the way they did the multiplayer. It's for like a few missions, but you don't essentially play with someone else. They play their own path of that story, you play that path, and you can go back and play that path with someone, different character. I think it's really cool the way they did that. It'd be interesting to see if they do that later on with DLC, but yeah. So, number 2, we have Devil May Cry 5, and also, Hyatt did not get nominated for Game of the Year. It's beyond me, but then again, Jeff Keighley wanted his boyfriend's video game there. But, yeah, so number 2, Devil May Cry 5. And at number 1, we have Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. Fucking phenomenal. Like, I can't fault this game for anything at all. I really do thoroughly enjoy this. Graphics fantastic, gameplay fantastic, the progression system fantastic, the skill tree system fantastic. The multiplayer, I don't really care for battle royales. Like, as I said, Apex, I enjoyed it for a while. I've never enjoyed Fortnite. PUBG I enjoyed, only because it's more realistic, that kind of thing. This has its own version of that, but you spawn in with one life. Everyone gets what they want, but obviously, you've got one life, and to see people team up on top tier aircraft to try and get rid of them first, it's really funny to see, because you're on a somewhat medium area, so you're all ready to fight as soon as it starts. It's actually quite fun. I love the music. The music is utterly phenomenal. It's one of the best of the generation, and it pains me to fucking say that it never got nominated for any award or any sort of category for the Game of the Year awards. It should have won Game of the Year's soundtrack for sure. Really like the boss battles, like the characters. I like the ending. It's just a must-have for the generation. One of the best games of the generation, and I just hope they give the treatment they did this to the Ridge Racer series if we get another Ridge Racer that's a proper iteration to Ridge Racer. So yeah, number 1, Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. So that is my top 10 games of the year. As I said, I've not played every game of the year. I wish I did. Then it would be a different list, of course. Yeah, let us know in the comments what your favorite game of the year was, or your list. I definitely do read the comments that once we do get anyway. Or do a video response. I'd watch that, no problem. But yeah, the top, as I said, the last 4 games in general are fucking perfect in their own right, should I say. They're definitely games that will not come off the list. The others may vary depending on the rest of the games that I play of the year. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I do apologize for the length, but I do sort of talk quite a lot. But yeah, thanks for watching and stay tuned. This is Private Mittens. Take care, guys, and see you later. Bye.